Hello, I'm Andy Arrow. My fledgling YouTube channel is dedicated to daily life here in Costa Rica's capital city of San Jose. The response to the channel has been overwhelmingly positive. I appreciate the support and encouragement. Now, because this is social media, not all of those comments have been entirely positive. I thought you might like to have a look behind the scenes at some of the comments that are unflattering, unusual, unexpected, and even bizarre. So let's get started. I'll begin and end the video with some benign comments and sandwich the nasty ones in the middle. First, I was pleasantly surprised to receive some favorable comments about my narration style, cadence, diction, modulation, and so forth. I thought I was just talking. One person disagreed and said, "Sounds like AI." Here are a couple of comments that you think got under my skin. They didn't. "Dude is such a creepy weirdo." You'll have to try harder than that, man. Then there's this gem, "Useless BS from ignorance." This next comment is not annoying because it's off-topic, unsolicited, and completely wrong. It's more the condescending tone that I don't care for. For someone who lives in a country, I am amazed you cannot pronounce the country in which you live. The O is pronounced as the O in cotton. See what I mean? The Spanish language is relatively straightforward. Once you learn a few basic rules, it's easy to correctly pronounce every word in the language. For example, the letter O is pronounced O. That's it. It's never pronounced like the O in cotton or Costco or Bob Costas, and I do not live in the country of Costa Rica. This next comment really is egregious. Whatever, Costa Rica is basically known as the consummate LGBT haven. That's grotesque. This is the definition of a troll. Some people are deeply unhappy. The most popular video on my channel so far is Micro Apartment, a quick tour of my tiny studio apartment, 170 square feet, including the ensuite bathroom. It has some unusual features. It's in the shape of a triangle. For some reason, I have a farmer sink, and I have a tankless, on-demand water heater that's about the size of a cigar box. I made my own primitive furniture out of a few sheets of plywood because that's the way I wanted to do it. Again, the comments were overwhelmingly positive. However, some people were not impressed. Here are those comments. "Nice jail cell. This must be like living in hell. Why would you live in apparent poverty? Are you doing penance? I'd be really depressed if I had to live in that place. Sorry, but it's a dump. Looks like a crack house. What a dump." And this one just says, "Pass." In this same video, I did mention that when I was hunting for an apartment, I looked at quite a few places that were painted in these garish colors, and the ceramic tile work, which is prevalent in this country, was often equally colorful, overly decorative, and wildly mismatched. And yes, I found this to be visually jarring, especially in the tiny apartments that I was looking at. So when I first looked at this apartment, I recognized right away that all of the units and all of the common areas were painted this same landlord-friendly neutral color. All of the ceramic tile was a neutral color, all of it was professionally installed, and all of it matched. This may not seem to be remarkable, but in this case, it was actually a relief and a selling point. I thought this comment was harmless enough, but it struck a nerve with some people, and they lit up the comments. "Sir, garish colors, you are in their country and they love those vibrant colors. Don't move somewhere and criticize the aesthetics of a culture that are not your own. There's nothing to celebrate about gringo beige. You could make a bigger effort to understand our culture and not just comment so patronizingly. Maybe you should think about moving to a place like Russia where they don't have garish colors." And finally, stay with me, this last one's a little long, but it's got some real nuggets. "Perhaps this country is not the best fit culturally for this guy if he is so bothered by the hues people paint their walls in, tile choices, and other issues. It seems he has very homogeneous fantasies about removing traditional decor preferences there." I appreciate the part about my homogeneous erotic fantasies of eradicating color from this culture. As promised, I'll wrap up with a couple of comments that are more favorable. A couple of people said I look like Ray Manzarek of The Doors. I suppose I see a vague resemblance. And finally, "This guy is really logical and humble. The video is very cool." Thank you, Merle1987. You are very cool as well. I hope you got a kick out of this look behind the scenes. Of course, I encourage you to check out other videos on the channel. Until next time, thank you for watching.